What's going on, guys? So we are back at it with the 240, trying to get this base squared away so we can get it into some color. Our game plan is to have it all ready to rock and roll by this weekend and break out the seafoam and lay down all of our base coat and our clear coat in the bay. What we've been doing so far, you guys can see here, is sanding down the engine bay itself. Now, I'm not an experienced painter. I've laid down primer and stuff, and I've painted a ton of vehicles, but I usually do all the work, and I have a painter come in and they handle everything out, and then they're like, okay, wet sand it from here and then do this and then do that, and then that's kind of what it is. So long story short, I just didn't really pay attention to my gun, and it was spraying just a little funky, and it kind of eggshelled the primer. I'll show you guys here, you can get an idea. It's nothing bad. It's nothing bad at all. He wasn't like upset about it or anything. It's just, that's what happens. I guess my needle was a little dirty and some other things that just caused this issue. So with that being said, we've gone through, I'd say, about 75–80% and wet sanded this bay down. You've got that spot right here in this back corner that I need to finish up, but everything that is light gray has been primarily wet sanded with this 400 grit. Jack was nice enough to grab me some of those guys, some mixing cups and some stirrers and stuff, and he was just able to kind of square me away so that way we can come through and set up these new guns. So to make this a long story short, his gun is getting rebuilt by a builder right now, and it's going to be a couple week wait time, and nothing against him, I just don't want to wait on that. So we picked up these cheapo guns, and these are supposed to be like a base and clear like setup, and he's just kind of going through dialing this thing in, and we're actually going to lay down some of the seafoam green on my front timing covers so we can see how the gun works, how it lays out, and what the color looks like when it's all said and done. So these guys are in primer here. I've just gone through with the Scotch-Brite pad. I've scuffed them up a little bit, that way this paint adheres to it, and that's about that. Pretty straightforward. When we have everything set up and ready to rock and roll, I'll break out the camera, we'll film him just painting the front covers, and we'll see how the color comes out, and then you guys know what to expect when you guys see the engine bay. So I'm super excited to get this ball rolling and get this thing moving, because once the engine bay is painted, that means everything's going in, it's going back on the ground. We'll start prepping up the body itself for paint, and it's just throwing parts at it and me buying other parts like a clutch and brakes. So awesomeness. I will see you guys in just a couple minutes. Love how you're using some pliers, bro.
Yeah, plug it, dude. Whatever works, send it.
I got a pry bar, just over here.
That's fine. Let's run this.
Dude, it's so freaking gorgeous.
That's minty, bro.
Literally
minty.
Running painter's tricks here, now I know.
We're gonna start with that. We can always add more. And we're gonna pray to God that's enough. If not, we're just gonna have to make more.
I think it'll be enough. I mean, we'll put a couple coats on it, and then it's getting clear, so.
Yeah. You got that compressor turned on?
Yep, we're ready to rock and roll. My man went from watching the YouTube channel to being on the YouTube channel. I've been chugging along, just sanding away, and I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up for the night. I've spent quite a bit of time out here just kind of sanding away both nights. Last night, you know, with the whole primer thing, and then I'm out here now putting in work. So just wanted to bring you guys an update, kind of show you how everything's coming along. It's looking really, really good. I'll show you guys kind of the idea right here, this darker area. Let me fix my focus. This darker area, you can see that it's textured here. It's really, really abrasive. Like I talked about in my last upload, this stuff lays very, very thick and very, very heavy, and I'm not, you know, very experienced painter, so I believe it was a little bit of a operator error, and on top of it being just a cheap Harbor Freight gun. So anyways, you guys can see the difference there, and the rest of the bay looks much lighter than that. It's all smooth to the touch. Very, 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 very nice finish here. This has all been wet sanded with 400 grit, so I'm loving the way that it's coming out. And with the timing covers getting painted up and looking freaking stellar, I wanted to kind of just get a rough idea of how the seafoam was going to look, and man, did it turn out beautiful. It looks so good. I absolutely love it. My timing cover down there at the bottom, it had a little ding in it. I mean, that was from just all the years that it's been around, you know, 30 years now, and she got a little beat up, and I tried to fix it the best I could, but you know, you'd see all the dents and dings, and it's really not that big of a deal. But I was so stoked to just kind of lay the seafoam and see how it looks and checks out. And this had a like a sand blasting like finish to it. Then I went through and kind of hit it with some 220 here and there. I put some self-etching primer on it, and then Scotch-Brite all the way out. Jack kind of checked over it, and then he was like, looks good. We cleaned it up, soaked it in alcohol, wiped it all down, and we laid down the color. So man, that looks freaking awesome. And now I know what my bay, like the general idea of what the bay is going to look like, and I am so excited to get this thing done. So tomorrow, after a couple jobs that I have lined up, I'm going to come here and just finish knocking down some of these areas that aren't super smooth. Like there's a little spot there. All of this feels pretty good. A little spot there. Just little odds and ends. And then along the firewall here, just want to make sure I've got all those like eye-catching spots where you first see. I'm not going to be going crazy behind the headlights back here, letting that be. We're going to just prime or just spread the base over that, and then clear coat it. It's not that big of a deal. And then along the outside here, we're just letting that be, and all along here letting that be, because not only is this stuff a primer, but it also helps with rust prevention on top of the Pour 15 that's already been laid down. So with all that being said, I'm just probably going to call it a night and just go relax with my girlfriend, and obviously take a shower and clean up. I'm covered in body dust, and I'm all different colors from all the freaking wet sanding and painting and all the stuff that we've been doing. So I'm very excited the way that the timing cover turned out. I'm very excited of how my bay is looking, and I just keep chugging along, and hopefully here soon we'll be setting her back down on all fours and going to the paint booth with her. And I'm ready to drive it too, so yep, I'll check in with you guys in the morning. I'll see how long this video is. I'll go ahead and put my footage up, and if it's a little lengthy, I might just go ahead and wrap it out tomorrow morning. If I can throw a little more footage in it, I sure will, and you guys will see that. So I'll see you guys then. Well, so much for checking in with you guys in the morning. My day got a little carried away from me. Had a few things to do this morning, and then I came home and I actually tended to that guy. I pulled him up here, and I actually tried to get the engine to turn over, but it's seized, it's a goner, and then I just vacuumed it out, cleaned it up. I've been neglecting it a little bit since I brought it home, so I wanted to get that taken care of. On the other hand, I've just been putting some time in on the S13. The bay is probably like 95% of the way done with the wet sanding. I've got a little areas here where I've hit with some self-etching primer. I had to kind of like sand here aggressively to get the eggshell down in between the stitch welds, because it can just be tough there. And then I kind of bled through here, just going a little too hard, and just a few little areas all along the edge here showing bare metal. So got that stuff in self-etching primer. My buddy's going to come over this weekend, double check my work, let me know what I need to fix, anything that may show through the base coat. And once we're squared away, this bay is going into color this weekend. There's no questions asked. I am laying color on this guy. I'll be up all Friday night prepping it so that way I can paint it Saturday, because I'm done with it. I'm over it. I want to put my cross member in, put my lower control arms in, put it back down on the ground, and start prepping to get the CA dropped in there. That way I can do the mock-up for the turbo, you know, my actual intake, intercooling piping, making sure that the turbo lines are going to clear everything, get my AN lines back down here for the head sumps. Just doing a lot of testing and making sure that everything is a-okay before I, you know, start bolting everything up, sealing everything up, and going from there. Okay, one more thing before I close out this video. This is the CA throttle body here. You guys can see this is the front side of the face and the back side behind the throttle plate. I went ahead and swapped a CA24 single cam throttle body on my CA. This guy is actually a little bit larger. If you guys flip these things over and compare them to, this is the CA one here. The hole behind the plate is roughly 2 and like 3/16 inch. It's a little bit smaller. Well, I say a little bit, it is smaller than the K24. The hole on the back side behind the plate, again, this one is like 2 and 7/16. Quite a big difference in the throttle bodies, and I'm gonna see if I notice any sort of like throttle response or anything. Obviously I'm going with a little bit larger turbo than I've traditionally ran. I've done, you know, 225s, T28 hybrids. So we'll see how the throttle input, you know, works with this turbo. I'm a little concerned that it might be a little laggy. I got the .48 AR hot side, so hopefully it'll spool quickly and you know, bring my power in like 2800, 3000 RPMs. If not, I'm okay, 32, 34. I just don't want it to be super laggy. So hopefully that throttle body helps out a little bit, and that's honestly about it. I really don't have much else for you guys. I know I'm kind of rambling, so I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I do appreciate all you guys watching. I'm really excited to get this freaking 240 going. I know sometimes it doesn't seem like it. I just get overwhelmed with work, and then I'm out here for 10-12 hours, or if I work, you know, through the day, and then I come home and I work on my own stuff. Sometimes it can just be, I wouldn't say overwhelming, but it just can be a nuisance, you know. You just chugging along, and you got to have patience to do this stuff right here. Like, this is just so in-depth and time-consuming. It's just one of those things. But alright guys, I'm gonna be quiet now, go ahead and wrap up this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you are a new subscriber, please go through the playlist and check out all the other videos we've done between Cummins and Evos and Subarus and Jeeps. Man, we love anything with wheels and tires, anything with an engine. We're definitely you know, automotive enthusiasts, and I appreciate everything. So be sure to go through and check out all the stuff that we've uploaded. And then my returning subscribers, you guys know the deal. I really appreciate you so much. You guys have been coming through. The views, they kind of go in waves and stuff, but the subscriber count is going up, and you guys have been messaging me on Instagram, really like kind of just like pumping me up, gassing me up about the CA stuff and the 240 overall and the bay. So I really appreciate all you guys, and hopefully here, once this 240 is done, I know she has priority right now. We'll be turning our attention to that Dodge and getting her right. So bear with me guys, little by little we'll get her done, and we'll be moving on to the next project. So thank you so much guys. I hope you have a good night. I will see you in the next upload Saturday morning bright and early to paint that engine bay. Deuces.